Hi guys, welcome to part 6 of the micronutrient series. And this video will be about getting micronutrients from food or supplements. And the answer to that is yes, it's both. You can get micronutrients completely, hitting the RDA through both. Can you hit all the RDA with food alone? The answer is no, it's unrealistic for these reasons. One, if you try to calculate all the RDA using food alone, you find that the calories are excessive. A typical average adult may need around 2,000 calories, but one source estimated that if you take account all the nutrients and you want to hit the RDA for each of the listed around 30 micronutrients, you would need to eat around 27,000 calories a day. Now, that's just one source, but we'll go into specific examples when I talk about specific micronutrients in the future. So, secondly, statistics. We've shown you the statistics of the EAR, and basically, a lot of people are not meeting that diet. So that's the statistics. And if you think about it, discipline-wise, how long can you stick to one specific diet? Let's say you've planned out this diet and it meets the calorie needs, and how long are you going to eat the same thing every day over and over? So that's to do with the reality of human behavior. Thirdly, the cost. Choosing to get from food to hit RDA rather than supplement tablet will cost more. So the lower income group, which is the group that will have the poorest diet anyway, they are the ones who will benefit from getting, let's say, multivitamin or supplement the most instead of getting it from a food source. So the question of, isn't a vitamin from food better than synthetic vitamin? The answer is no, it depends. For example, the body doesn't distinguish between synthetic and natural vitamin C. The body sees it as the same. So they have no idea if you got it from food or from a supplement. So the example for vitamin C is the same. And then sometimes the synthetic one is better, say folic acid, vitamin B9. It's more bioavailable in the supplemental form such that 100% of folic acid from supplement is absorbed. Whereas let's say fortified food is around 85%, and if it's just natural food, it's even lower than that. But you also deal with genetic issues. Some people might not absorb folic acid, and they may need the special form. Then that one we will talk about in future topics. And well, sometimes natural is better. Say for vitamin E, the synthetic alpha tocopherol, which is vitamin E, is less bioavailable than the natural alpha tocopherol. But it's only because there's only one type of synthetic that is better than the natural form. But it's just that supplemental manufacturer doesn't get it right. They didn't have the vitamin E in the most absorbable form. So normally they have the other mixtures in, and overall they just mix that the natural vitamin E is better than the synthetic one. Isn't it easier to overdose with supplements rather than food? Well, yes, possibly. That's why you need to estimate how much you need on top of your diet with professional help. It's harder to overdose on food, but at the same time, it just means that it's hard to get enough from food. So for calcium, if you take the dose that is equal to the supplement, that's around 2 gram or 2,000 milligram of calcium, whether that's from drinking lots of milk or you take a tablet, you both also lead to overdose symptoms. So calcium from natural source or from supplemental force, as long as you take it over, you still get the same side effects. But that's not the same with potassium and magnesium. If you take it from food, you are never going to overdose from food sources. But if you take from supplement, then yes, that's overdose potential, even when you're not taking beyond the UL. But we will talk more about this in their specific chapters. So this is a summary table based on the top inadequate micronutrient that the US population is not getting. So I've summarized based on what I've been reading. So green color, potassium, you only can get over 90% of it from food. So definitely do not depend on, you can't depend on supplements to get the potassium you need, because the only absorbable safe form is from food. And vitamin D, it's literally impossible to get the vitamin D from food alone, and you need to depend almost 100% on supplement to get all the vitamin D you need. Or unless you choose to get out in the sun, then that's another story. So the vitamin D, it's a orange color. It's labeled as supplement only, and it's non-MVM, which means a non-multivitamin source. So the amount of multivitamin do not carry the amount you need daily. So then you have the pink category, which means it's a mixture of food and supplement. This one you can adjust. It is somewhat possible to get all of it from food, but you will realize it's a lot of effort and a lot of calories to take. So you can do your own adjustments, how much you want to get from food, how much you want to get from supplement. The ones in blue can be covered by multivitamins. And the ones in purple, you can cover it mainly through multivitamin if you don't have any specific conditions, such as the folate B9 folic acid, where some people have a genetic condition where they can't absorb the folic acid form, they have to absorb another special form. Or if you're older than 50, where your needs are higher than what's provided than the multivites, or lower than what's provided in the multivites. And some are uncoded. It's likely that you achieve it through an average variated diet. So it's not as important if you want to include them in your multivite or not. So a summary of what supplements you should get for an average healthy adult. I see that vitamin D, multivitamins, a combination of calcium, magnesium, choline, and perhaps vitamin C for an evening dose on top of the multivitamin. So separate from the multivitamin. You can also choose, rather than having an evening dose of multivitamin, to get a very high vitamin C food like a guava or a pepper, a bell pepper. So how much, what's the dose, what's the strength? These will all be covered under the specific micronutrient topic. But if you are asking for a personal one, then you will need professional dietitians to guide you through it. What about other supplements? Omega-3 fish oil, enzymes, leaf extracts, and these are omega-3 fish oil. It's under macro supplements, which we're not talking about now, but we might explain it in future videos. And phytochemicals are a class of specific compounds that are present in plants, and sometimes you can extract them and turn them to supplement. And we will talk about it in future videos. Okay, what about the lesser mentioned minerals? So these are optional, such as chromium, molybdenum, selenium, biotin, B7, copper, and vitamin B5. Some of them are covered in multivitamin mineral supplements, around 100%. Manganese, you have to make sure it's less than 100% because of the fear of overdose. And sodium and phosphorus, you can get it enough from food, so it's not as important. Fluoride, you are probably getting enough from Malaysian government intervention because they put it in the water. So unless you drink RO water, which removes all minerals, and use toothpaste that do not have fluoride or other dental products that have no fluoride, then you are likely not to need extra fluoride. For iodine, Malaysian government is in the middle of the intervention of getting all the salt iodized. So, so these are the smaller minerals and micronutrients that are not as important as those that have been shown to be deficient or inadequate in the full population. So these are just optional ones. So that's all for today's video. We'll see you in future videos.